Hello, everybody. It's time to look at another epic exposure, epic deceiver in the world. This person is using science and mostly religion camouflaged under humanitarian endeavors such as helping the community in India, helping America, planting trees, while he's doing other things to increase pollution. So, Jaggi Desudev Sadghuru, you are being exposed because it's time that more of us expose you. So, Sadghuru, let us begin with some of your photos, and then we'll go into what you have done using videos of testimonies and your own website. This is the man, Sadghuru Jaggi Desudev Sadghuru. This is very important. This photo right here is very important because you need to understand where this character, this person, this dark entity known as Jaggi is. Where is he? This is the Freemason Grand International Secret Meeting. So no one was invited inside in the public. Only secret dark people were invited. Now, if you know the average person who is trying to get, those who are waking up who are trying to get information, they follow these idiots and they snatch snippets of pictures. So, from what we can gather, Sadghuru was at the meeting for sure. The Freemason Grand International Meeting. I think this was in 2012. Here's his photo again with the Grand Lodge, renowned, terrible, horrible evildoers on the planet. Now, this guy was a keynote, Jaggi was a keynote speaker. Keynote speakers at these events are given 30 minutes, but Jaggi was afforded an entire hour. He must be important to be afforded an entire hour. So please, you have to excuse me. You might hear a bit of noise from the fan, and I have my shirt off, my top off, because it's hot and I'm trying to save electricity because I lost my part-time job, so I have to save money somehow. Here's another photo of the same Grand International Freemason meeting. Sadghuru. Here we go again. Sadghuru, same meeting. So, a few photos from that. Now, let us take a look at directly. Let's look at the website to show you that Sadghuru is not who he pretends to be. So you can see. So you already have the Freemason Illuminati meeting. That's huge. That's not to be taken light. That's huge. No one gets invited. Okay, no one gets invited unless you're part of the club. Okay, that's huge. You have to take that seriously. So that was what convinced me that this guy could have killed his wife, because there were rumors that he cremated the body pretty quickly. And until then, I didn't take it so seriously. Until I looked at the photos of him being part of the Freemason and giving the keynote speech, it was just something that was Okay, so I don't know what happened here. Let me see. against Sadghuru Jagi is that the benevolent charities that his foundation Isha ISHA performs, they are infused with gifts requested by the average person. Let's take a look. Planned gift. This is from the website, and here you can read it from here. Isha da sadghuru.org/US/EN/donation. Planned gifts. It says, often donors don't realize all the benefits that planned giving can bring to an individual and the charity that they support. You can leave a legacy behind by ensuring that Isha's life-transforming work continues beyond your lifetime. Planned giving involves providing for a future gift to charities through your financial and estate plans, while giving from several tax benefits. There are several ways to make your planned gifts. Some of the options include contribution through your will, charitable trust, insurance policy, or retirement plan. So insurance, I can take my life insurance that I have for my loved ones and turn it over to you. Retirement plan, I can take my 401 or 403b and send it over to you. Interesting. You should always consult your financial, tax, and legal professional for guidance on your individual financial situation before making such contribution. No, you should consult yourself to see if you're sane enough to be following these a-holes' requests. Charitable request. A charitable request is a gift of property or a sum of money given through your will. Charitable gifts made through your will are 100% deductible for estate tax purposes. Bequest may be written as a percentage, residual, or specific monetary amount. Life insurance, we just talked about that a while ago. Gifts or life insurance are an excellent way to support Isha. You may name Isha as the owner and the beneficiary of an existing life insurance policy that may no longer be needed for you for its intended purpose. May no longer be needed. Why would it be no longer needed? Are you rich? You can take an immediate federal tax deduction for the appropriate. These deductions are full of crap. Cash value of the donated policy. Isha will immediately begin to receive the dividends. Okay, that's good. Isha will be. Isha will immediately begin to receive the dividends from the policy and will ultimately receive the insurance proceeds as well. Oh God. Retirement plan. You may name Isha as beneficiary of all or a portion of your retirement account assets, such as your IRA, 401k, 403b, KIOG. KIOG is for the business. So as a business, you can donate your entire employees or part of it, life insurance or security benefits, or other qualified plan. Once you decide you would like to support Isha's work, simply provide your attorney with our legal destination language. Isha Foundation, Inc. 951 Isha Lane, McMinnville, Tennessee, 37110 USA. They're in America as well as India. They're global. Isha Foundation, Inc. is a tax-exempt organization under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue. So it's a non-profit organization. non-profit organization. Isha, that's number 2. Number 1, Exposed. Number 2, Exposed. Let's move on to number 3. Now, number 3 are, let's look into victims slash videos that were made by people speaking out. The ones that I thought were interesting here. Let me see. Okay, so this one is called Deception of Sadghuru Jagi Vasudev. So this girl talks about yoga. Yoga seems relatively friendly, right? I've never trusted yoga. I've never trusted meditation. I prefer to sleep. Sit in bed and let my thought wander. That's meditation. But if meditation works for you, great. I don't care either way for meditation. But what I have questioned is the fact that it has always been at the back of my mind, what happens when you let your crown chakra just open up like that without protection? And if you're new to this and they don't teach you that in the yoga classes, how are you protecting yourself when you just let it's like a child walking into the street. Like no security measures. You get hit by a car or doesn't know the rules of the games of this planet or your planet. And that's what a lot of people are doing when they practice yoga without knowing that they first have to put a shield around their light. I'll tell you this, even before I became fully awake, whenever someone would, at that time I was detoxing, whenever someone would, whenever the people who were trying to help me, the shamans and so forth would say something that I wasn't sure about, I would think, source consciousness or the Most High or something like that. At that time, yeah, so I didn't want to be deceived, period. So this girl talks about yoga, the dangers of meditation if you really don't know what you're doing. Now, after this girl speaks, you'll see. Well, I'll talk about it after she speaks.
Hey everyone, I'm making this video because I want to talk about my experience with yoga, and I'll try to make it as brief as possible. It is not what it seems. It's extremely dangerous. I have a lot of experience in this. I was involved in high-level occult yoga for a few years, and I was doing 15 hours a day of yoga, and I was just about ready to completely give my life to this organization and go to India, and I was about ready to move to India, and I was in India, and I got hit with spiritual warfare while doing this yoga, because it opens you up to a different dimension, and I thought I was becoming enlightened, because I was feeling good. Okay, before I got hit with the spiritual warfare, I was feeling good, and that's the deception. Just because something feels good, it doesn't mean that it's coming from a good place.
Well said, well said.
Satan can do healings and has done healings, and I've seen that as well. And so the deception is just so deep, it's unimaginable that it could be anything bad. I mean, it seems harmless, right? You're just doing some stretches, what's wrong with that? We seem totally wacko to even suggest otherwise. But it truly is not what it seems. And I was doing this high-level yoga, and I got hit with spiritual warfare. I got hit with physical illness, very serious, Morgellons disease. And I came back devastated from it. And I'll get into my journey in a second, but I just want to say again and reiterate the fact that everything's a trade-off. Just because it feels good doesn't mean that it's coming from a good place, as I mentioned. Truly, even if you're feeling good, it has consequences, and I would just stay away from it, which, as crazy as it sounds, is true. And I only know from very personal experience, and I'm not the only one, so do research up onto it.
They can hate you all they want. They're just hating themselves. It's all good. All right, so let's just like to move on to the next video here. So the conclusion that I would make here is that yoga is being used as a religion instead of a spiritual practice. It can be used as a spiritual practice, as practice that reaches source. I'm not saying that it can't. But the deceivers, such as Sadghuru, are using his religion. And somebody else talked about it. And let's find the video and go to it. I wonder... Okay, so now I'm having second thoughts here. Let me pause this for a second. Okay, the next video is called... What is it called? Sadghuru fumbled first time please, and gave wrong answer. Youth and truth unplugged with Sadghuru. Unplug with or unplug from? Should be unplugged from. Anyway, this young person is asking a question about moral obligations versus political obligations, and the moral dilemma of defending someone who is wrong.
There may be occasions in the course of our career where we are confronted with certain moral dilemmas. For example, a situation where you're required to defend someone you know is guilty, or a situation where you have to prosecute someone you know is innocent. Now the law says that every accused is entitled to an attorney and the right to a fair trial. Now if I decide to defend this particular accused individual, and I defend him successfully, then should I be pleased with the acquittal, or should I regret the fact that the victim has not received justice? So how do I reconcile this conflict between my conscience and my professional obligation?
See, your profession is a constitutional obligation. You have no business to see what is right and wrong. Your business is just to interpret the Constitution for the well-being of the citizen who comes to you. Crime he has committed maybe, but sometimes the crimes are so heinous, then the human question will come up, should I save this guy at all? So, this is not don't make this into a moral dilemma. This is a professional thing, where you must decide, are you fulfilling your constitutional responsibility or not? This is not for you to take a moral stand. Okay, this guy has done something that law, so that everybody gets a fair this thing. This once happened. Can I tell you a truth? You're a very serious lawyer you are. This happened. Shankaran Pillai was accused of...
Okay, well, so he's telling this guy that there's a difference between professional and moral obligations. Man, that was one of the biggest bullshits I've ever heard in my freaking life. Well, so people can keep committing heinous acts, his word, heinous acts, and we defend them and get them to be free. Something must be done about the Constitution, any Constitution. Come on, Sadghuru, come on! We know you're a fraud. The next video is called Communist Loses His Cool During Debate with Sadghuru Jaggi Vasudev.
Romanticizing religion the way you have done goes against the grain of the facts on the ground. The fact of the matter is, religion, both in this country and elsewhere in the world, has been responsible for far more deaths than any other activity of human being has done.
True, religion.
I'm not
The fact is,
no, you're not making the distinction between seeking and believing.
yeah, we'll come to that. Let me say my piece.
You cannot come to that later. You have to look at it now
No,
because
I will choose to.
No, no,
I will
no.
choose to tackle it when I choose to tackle it.
No, no, I
I'm
want to
not
tackle
here
it
as
now.
your follower.
No,
I'm
no.
here as a debate. I'm
All
here
right.
in a
You
conversation.
have asked me a question.
We are
Let
here-
me complete it.
I'm
now.
not asked you a question.
He didn't answer your question.
I'm not asked you a question.
He did not
I
answer your
made
question.
a statement that religion has been responsible for far more deaths than any other human activity. I'm also saying that you are happily confusing myth and history and talking about Rama and Krishna walking the earth. Now,
I
it's
didn't say earth, I
debatable
said
whether this is
geography.
history or myth.
He's not confusing it. He's doing it on purpose.
With his wife, and somebody having a conversation, you can't confuse history and myth and wade into all of this and run a logical argument. I know you are not for logic. At least you don't think logic is the end all of all discussion, at least from the book, which I respect that point of view. Science is not the end. It is for science to discover the beginning of the cosmos and the end of the cosmos.
No, science is full of shit
in the
too.
process of seeking, of becoming. Religion has become, unfortunately, a certitude, a terrible certitude.
Okay, science has also become a certitude when it's all a tool used against humanity. So that's where he goes wrong.
Which is creating more division, more fraction, more, I think, dishonesty in life, all of that. And that's become even more so in the current age. That's what I started out by saying. We are in an age of godmen. We are in an age of so-called, new age gurus, market gurus. Branding is a symbol. Look at all the branding of all the gurus that are doing it. It's ridiculously ostentatious and market friendly. So I'm sorry, but I hope you don't get offended.
You are giving your opinion about everybody in the universe without knowing a thing about them.
Yeah, but
Really? So you know more than this guy? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but I know you don't because I know that you go to these Freemason meetings. Everything is connected, and this guy, this guy is just bullshitting his way out. Okay, they're making this guy. This is the guy they call the communist, right? But he makes the most sense, and Sadhguru is just full of crap.
But that's not your monopoly. That's Guruji.
The audience is here to support Sadhguru.
I'm not here to pass a judgment on you.
Yes, you are.
No, because you said that about me. That I'm saying.
But you're saying these are market forces, these are godmen. Whoever in this country called himself a godman. Only the goddamn journalists are doing this all the time.
Sure. I'm not exempting my persona as a journalist. Does not prevent me.
Have you seen one person who said I'm a god man?
Of course, you are saying that. In your book, you are saying that.
What I'm saying?
You are saying, I will do this, I have magic, I create all these things, I touched and created vibrations, I created power there. You are talking like a magician.
I think
Towards the last pages of you, please reread your book.
Oh shoot! Please reread your book.
I think you need to little educate yourself about English language.
How did I make a mistake?
You're making up things.
Sorry?
Please, you're making up things. If you do not understand the way the book is written, you will need 10 readings to get it.
I don't intend reading it more than once, but I have read it once.
If this is the
With due
conclusion
respect
you
to
made,
you.
obviously you didn't get it.
No, towards the end of the book,
Obviously didn't
you are
get it.
talking about the need for more and more temples. You are talking about how you created vibrations in one temple in the US and made it, godly in that sense. You're not using, but that's even more dangerous in my view. Somebody who calls himself a god man can be dismissed offhand. But while you raise very, very interesting discussions on the need for limits to logic, the need for limits to science, towards the end you are lapsing into total blind leap of faith. In the beginning of the book you start by saying, don't take anything at face value, question everything, interrogate everything, Guruji. And you say that in the beginning of the book. You say, don't take even what I'm saying at face value. Towards the end you say, if you don't have a leap of faith, a leap of trust, I cannot guide you in the garden of wilderness. So, it is a book of self-contradiction in that sense.
Yes, that's the whole point.
Can I have a
Please.
few minutes?
Contradictions to confuse us.
Let's understand this. When human beings were just walking on the ground, if a man, first man, came on a bicycle, most people wouldn't believe it. they would think it is something absurd or illogical or magical. It would take a lot of convincing before people who are stuck in their own logic understand there is a way to ride on two wheels. I'm not even talking about an airplane, I'm talking about a bicycle. So all those people who denied the bicycle, at that moment, they all thought they were logically correct, like you.
I don't understand it, but please carry on.
Yes, I understand, a lot of things are not understood.
Yes.
That was a cheap shot.
Unless they're understood, they're not understood.
Because the way you're going at it, whatever this leap of faith business you're talking about, there is no question of faith here.
Yes, there is.
We are talking about a dimension beyond your present level of perception and understanding.
That is true.
Any human being who thinks what I do not know cannot exist is wearing the crown of ignorance. The most fundamental aspect of human intelligence, if it has to flower, is to constantly be able to see things that you do not know, things that you do not perceive exist all the time. This is
Okay, I skipped ahead to the next video. This is a video where he was accused of land grabbing, and he defends himself.
About what we are not getting to hear too much about on television news in outside of Tamil Nadu and Coimbatore, but the newspapers are talking about it, and I think you need to answer people on this count, because there have been protests and there have been criticism about the structure of the Adi Yoga and the land that was cleared to make it. There has been there is a PIL in the Madras High Court about the construction of this complex, and the Isha Foundation has talked about it, defended, put forward its defense, but I think it's important for you to tell us.
No, we have not defended, we've just dismissed it.
Dismissed it, but
Because there's nothing to defend.
but
Everything is by the law. But
is it by the
in
law?
this country there are a whole lot of activists who have no other activity in their life.
You are someone who is a spiritual teacher. You're spreading the message of yoga. You're spreading the message of inner engineering.
Not just
Why
that,
would-
we are
no,
doing enormous amount of work.
and social outreach. I will come to that. But the question is that why would someone want to harass you? Because that's what you're indicating it may be. And
I'm not indicating it.
This guy needs to be harassed
100%.
for sure.
I have to take your word for it, but I'm not
Yes.
a believer.
Why would
I'm
someone-
following you. I'm
Yes.
a seeker.
That's fine.
So I have to question.
I'm not
Of course you
indicating
have
it
to
may be.
question.
You saying it is.
It's 100%.
So I have to take your word for it, but I'm not a believer. I'm following you. I'm
Yes.
a seeker.
That's fine.
So I have to question.
You
Now,
can question.
So the question is that how would you explain to people who believe you and who
Yes,
trust
that-
you when a retired judge of the Madras High Court will say that, in the deposition that has come forward, so 13 lakh square feet are illegal in terms of the construction here. Other people have said the town and planning department has actually said no more construction, but nobody has acted on those. So you need to tell people
Okay.
why you're dismissing these.
Let me tell you. See, one accusation is that we have destroyed an entire rainforest.
Hmm.
I want you to just walk around and see what is our neighborhood. Our neighborhood is all arecanut and coconut farms. This was there even before I came. These are all revenue lands. These are not forest lands. Yes, there is a forest close by, but these
Which
are
is
not
an
forest.
elephant corridor, I
It
believe.
is not elephant corridor. The Environment Ministry doesn't say that. The World Wildlife Fund doesn't say that. The State Forest Department doesn't say that. Somebody else says that. They keep saying that because they don't know what is an elephant corridor. If there was an elephant corridor, why did they give revenue lands 130 years ago? Why did they make this into revenue lands 130 years ago, during the British era? And these are agriculture lands. People have been growing sugar cane. There are sugarcane mills which have contracted this area, and largely arecanut and coconut farms. If a coconut farm is there, many of them are over 40, 50 years old. If there was an elephant corridor, none of them would be standing, isn't it? Just drive around and see. The coconut farms all around. So, you can say anything you want in this country. Do you know what it takes to file a PIL? Anybody can file a PIL, it just takes a few hundred rupees. I can file 10 cases on you by today evening. It's the onus is on you to prove it is not true. In the last 25 years, they must have filed I don't know how many cases on us. Has one thing found one copper? One thing. I have stolen 7,000 kidneys. You must check as soon as you go back to Mumbai, whether you have two or one, because I steal
In
kidneys.
India, he made a joke.
There is a proverbial statement of how a coconut tree is whispered.
Okay, so he's also been accused of organ theft. So basically, just like parts of the body. I was trying to find a site where his website, but I didn't see it. I'll keep searching. But he's in favor of donating parts of your body after you die. The problem with this is when people agree to donate, certain things could be done to accelerate their deaths. That's why it's not a good idea to donate your organs. You're nobody's God. So this guy being accused of taking organs, I believe it.
Kidneys. I have killed hundreds of people, but I don't know who is dead.
Probably has.
All right? All kinds of things, weird things. Some of them these days they have taken on to ecological mode. The same people.
Which is very
Can you tell that she keeps saying She does not believe a word he says.
But I don't know who is dead. All right? All kinds of things, weird things. Some of them these days they have taken on to ecological mode. The same people.
Which is very difficult to reconcile because the teachings that you have made
No, I will come
when
to
you
it.
speak.
We are the largest ecological movement in Asia. Okay? We have been given Indira Gandhi
largest.
Paryavaran Puraskar. Didn't they check us out? What we are doing? Is there any government agency which has filed any case on us? No.
The town and country planning
Yes,
department
they have given
had
us a
mentioned.
notice.
Yes.
We have disputed that because there is a discrepancy in that.
So is
Okay?
because
No, I will tell you. There is a law that some 50 meters from the forest area or the forest boundary you should not build anything. We have maintained that. Somewhere some judges said it must be 150 meters. 150 meters is 500 feet. 500 feet means you will be outside your land. Alright? So because somebody says that, just one person has said that, otherwise all the law, all the precedent in the High Court says 50 meters. We have maintained 50 meters 100% everywhere. And anybody can walk around. I have taken the journalists and walked around and show them. If I have anywhere 1 inch of forest land, if I have taken, I said I will leave Tamil Nadu right now.
No, you won't. Okay, so I found it. Is it okay to donate your organs? October 01, 2014, Sadhguru speaks about how organ donation can be a positivity for an individual to make a difference in another life even after one's death. Yeah. Under the right circumstances, but we know that the world is controlled by dark energy, so whenever they sneak things like this in, you're using this to eradicate the population, to kill people, kidnap children, and accelerate people's deaths so that they can use their organs. Why should you donate blood? Also blood. Blood is one of the biggest businesses, these pharmaceutical businesses. They use it to make money. I did a video on that before. Why should you donate blood? It says, on World Flood Donor Day, Sadhguru relates a story from his own youth as he and his friends tried to help save lives through organizing the local process of blood donations. Donate to the Tamil Nadu Flood Relief Fund. It says December 3, 2015. Okay. So, yeah, he's in favor of, yeah, this guy is a questionable character.
Okay? Prove one thing that we have done wrong. We will see, look at this. Simply going on wild accusations endlessly. Anybody can file cases. So vested interests are there. There are groups which have their own agendas. They are all posing to be environmental groups. The people who are filing these cases, who consider themselves environmental groups, why don't you, as a media, just investigate and see what environmental work have they done except filing cases on us? Have they done anything? Have they planted one tree in their life? Just find out. They have not. They just do only this. We have planted nearly 30 million trees. This is our thing. And this entire forest, what you see, this mountain.
Okay, so he's planted 30,000, what is he like, 30,000 trees? And at the same time, he's in favor of the high-performing motorcycle that causes a lot of pollution. He loves motorcycles, but not just the average that doesn't cause as much pollution, but the high-end that causes a lot of pollution.
Was bereft of trees because in this land where you're sitting right there was a furniture industry, illegal industry going at that time. About 17 years ago, I bought this land for 4 times its price just because I wanted to stop that industry. And they
How nice of you. I'm sure you had other goals.
6 million trees. In the summer also it's green today only because of that. And you walk up this mountain and see, you will see all trees are just 14, 15-year-old trees. None of the old trees. If you go that side, there are hundreds of year-old, 100-year-old trees. In this particular mountain, you will see only 15-year-old trees.
Okay.
Because they were all planted by us.
Stop talking already.
What have they done? The reason why every Saturday of that, there were group slaughter that happened.
Do you think this is the price of the scale and group?
I'm going to go back a little bit, excuse me.
Okay. So do you think this is the price of the scale and growth that Isha has seen? I met you in 2011. Since 2017, I think the Isha Foundation, the Isha Yoga Center, the outreach programs that you're doing, everything has grown pretty exponentially, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh.
So
Yes.
So you are a fraud. Freemasonry, secret society, Illuminati, encouraging people to end their lives earlier by donating organs. What else we say? We showed a bunch of other things. Oh yeah, the yoga, promoting religion under the guise of yoga. Possibly killing your wife. And that's enough for me. This guy, there's a reason why this guy appears on NDTV, India's one of India's biggest networks, news networks. Again, one of the ways to determine these frauds and charlatans is to look at the mainstream media. If they appear over and over again on mainstream media, then you know they are definitely a fraud. No question about it, they are a fraud. And this guy, Jagi Basudev Sadghuru, is a total fraud. No doubt in my mind. So that's another thing that if we could look at. Yeah, I think that's it. That's the end of the video. I wonder how long the video was. Good luck on your journey back to source consciousness.